I'll be away for the next 6 days and I've only bought just a one-way ticket to Penang. My travel plan is to make my way back from Penang to Singapore by road. I originally flew out of Singapore without a plan on hand other than arming with a list of food places that I plan to visit while in Penang. In the end, I found myself in Bukit Mentajam and Kuala Lumpur before making my way back Singapore doorstep. Sit tight and enjoy this Penang to Singapore road trip with me. I am on my way to board my plane from Changi Airport. My destination for this trip is Penang. This is my third trip to Penang. On my first trip to Penang, I was very impressed with Penang food. That was more than 20 years ago. And that was the time when Penang food is not available in Singapore yet. My second visit took place probably some 10 years ago. That was during my business trip that I extend a day or two in Penang. Due to my lack of planning during the trip, I was not too satisfied with my culinary experience back then. So this time round, I have spent a whole day looking up for good food in Penang, and I did some homework prior to my flight to Penang. Shame to say, that's the only homework that I have done on this entire trip, which is to pin down all the local food on my map. The sights in Penang come secondary, and I'm not too keen on sightseeing this time around. I'm so eager to see how this trip pans out in terms of my culinary experience. Penang International Airport is the only airport in Penang for both domestic and international travel. After touching down in Penang, there is a short walk from where my plane is parked and to the passenger terminal. So I've reached Penang. This is Penang International Airport. It is one of Malaysia's busiest airports with a capacity of 8.3 million passengers arriving each year. As a medium-sized airport with a single passenger terminal, there are about 2 floors in the passenger terminal, namely level 1 and 2. The custom clearance is a fast one. There is no visa needed for Singaporean, and it's just a chop and stamp on my passport before being released on Penang soil. My first mission after getting immigration clearance is to get a SIM card. I saw Tune, the telco. Let me see what kind of package do they have. Oh, so all the 3 telcos are here. 什么？
你找手机卡吗？
啊，手机卡对。
啊，25元，15个 GB。我们现在是促销，就全部30天，够吗？
等一下，我看一下。Let me hunt down a telco company first. The ride to Georgetown is a 25 minutes drive and costs between 40 to 60 ringgit. I, however, go on a cheaper alternative to travel to the city centre, that is, by way of the public bus. The local bus company, Rapid Penang, operates the bus route throughout Penang State. That's the departure hall on top, arrival hall below, and the bus stop just right in front. The time now is 7ish. The sky is very blue. I read there are 3 routes into the city centre. As I have not got my accommodation booked yet, so I do not know where I'm staying. My plan is just to take the first bus that comes along. It looks easy on the internet, but on the ground itself, there are some minor hiccups when I try my hands on taking the public bus at the airport. Bus to Georgetown? Georgetown? Oh, not yet. Oh, what time? 8:30. 8:30. Oh, okay. Okay. That's the bus. No, I don't.
balik pulau.
Oh.
Oh, another side.
Oh, okay, okay. Balik Pulau is the other side. Oh, yes. Georgetown pergi? Huh? No. Oh, next bus. Ah. Okay. Oh. It's disappointment after disappointment. Yeah, I don't know what's the system like. After and disappointment later. Hey, this bus not in service. Hello. Pergi Komtar or Georgetown? Okay, okay.
What time are you leaving?
1 hour later.
Okay, finally, I'm up on the bus. The Australian lady is not following me. I think she still insists to take the 401.
Later.
The bus from the airport terminates at Komtar building. So this is where all buses in Georgetown goes to in every part of Penang. So it operates like a interchange. Okay, so I'm just leaving this place. I have booked Rope Walk guest house for the next 2 nights. So I'm at my hostel. Behind me, that's Rope Walk guest house. It's a historical building. This heritage shop house was repurposed into a guest house. It's located right in the midst of Penang UNESCO Old Town. Alright, push. Oh, okay. Thank you. The guest house is very funkily decorated, very youngish design on its walls. Where is my bed? 35. Okay, 35. Right, behind it. So this is a heritage building. The dormitory that I'm staying in is probably 12 person in sharing with a common toilet outside. Hello. In a typical hostel setting, I am usually the oldest fella checking into such dorm at a guest house. So I get to mingle with the youngsters around me. Thank you. So this is my bed.
Filming a video?
Yeah, I'm filming a video. Hi. Hello. My bunkmate sleeping below me. That in turn make me young as well. So I just quickly dump my stuff and look for things to eat. After all, now it's about 9:30 or 9:40. Yeah, 9:40. As I continue my walk, I can notice the stunning colonial architecture that Penang is known for. These buildings, with their grand facades and intricate details, are a reminder of Penang's glorious colonial past. Oh, this is really beautiful. Really, really, really beautiful. It's a small courtyard place. Look at the frescoes. Oh, I like it so much. At night, they are beautifully lit, highlighting the architectural beauty. That is something one would not be able to see during the daytime. I'm now at Chulia Street. There's a stretch of water hose in this canal. And you can also find very nice fine dining. Chulia Street is the most bustling thoroughfare of Georgetown and is one of the oldest roads in Penang. Chulia Street Market only wakes up at night. As the sun sets, the streets come alive with the aroma of street food, the chatters of local, and the vibrant colors of handmade crafts. Look at how they fill up the tables here. From the wonton mee to the char kway teow to the apom balik, The food here is not just delicious, but a reflection of Penang diverse culture. I enthusiastically went to the first place that I pinned down, which is mother and son wonton noodle at Chulia Street Night Hawker. I received a surprise from this place. Sorry, all sold out. The noodle has all sold out by 10 p.m. Google has it that it opened till midnight. This looks like a place I might go in for char kway teow. 仲有炒粿條冇？冇啦，冇晒啦。冇相干，冇相干。I am thus forced to go to the coffee shop next door and order my Penang laksa. That's my food rebound in a way. So this is my first meal in Penang. This is what you call Penang laksa with herbal tea over here. So this is what you call Penang laksa, and this is the prawn paste. So what you need to do is to mix this up. I need to tell you that I wasn't a big fan of Penang laksa, so I do not have a good Penang laksa benchmark. What I taste in this coffee shop is that the Penang laksa seems average. So I finished my dinner, my first meal in Penang, at this very authentic. Okay. Bye-bye. Hello. Yeah.
The next day.
Guess what? I'm back here again. So yesterday, because I came too late, so I wasn't able to eat the wonton noodle over there. So this time around, I'm coming in earlier. So I cannot let the mother and son wonton mee at the queue sleep on me this time round. By the time I'm at Chulia Street Night Market, thank goodness the night market has got the usual buzz and I'm able to be part of the bustle. I was here last night, but the food was sold out, and now I am back again, this time round, determined to try the food again. The queue is a long one, but the time to serve is rather fast. So I'm now waiting for my order to be served. In no time, I got my noodle and can't wait to sink my teeth in. The noodle itself is fantastic. It has the correct texture and is very tangy. However, the char siu is probably above average slightly. The noodle is tangy. Oh, let's try the pork. It didn't give me the oomph factor that I expected. And so are the wontons. That's pretty average.
Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo.
There are 5 jetties here in Penang. So the Chulia Jetty, the Lor Jetty, the Lim Jetty, the Lee Jetty, and I forgot what's the last one. Yeah. So there are 5 jetties to choose from. So obviously my first choice is the Chulia Jetty for a very obvious reason. Because I am Chu. So I have to support my own clan first. Wrong. There are altogether 7 Chinese clans jetty and not 5 that I have mentioned earlier. The clan jetties are a cluster of residential neighborhood within the city of Georgetown in the Malaysian state of Penang. Situated within the city central business district, it is now comprises 7 wooden villages lining the coastal road of Wai Kee. Let's go in. Each village is owned by residents of a specific Chinese clan: Ong, Lim, Chu, Tan, Lee, Yo, and mixed clan. By far, the Chulia Jetty has to be the most tourist-friendly jetty amongst the jetty. And it has many souvenir stores. There's even some cafes and some snacks cafeteria, and there are many spots to take pictures. But as I'm getting deeper into this housing neighborhood, I begin to really feel for the dwellers living in this area, whose life is constantly being pried into by tourists coming by the waves. I just feel that this commercialization and crowd it brings really spoil the authenticity of this place. But let's be realistic, these locals also need to earn their livelihood. I like it when I've almost reached the end of Lee Jetty. That's the place that I can get to look at the expanse of the sea facing Peninsular Malaysia mainland. I especially like the vibes here. So Penang is an island. So this is the mainland Malaysia, which is also part of the entire Penang. So Penang is an island and a state. That's pretty much all for Lee Jetty. After Lee Jetty, I'm proceeding on to the other jetty, the Tan Jetty, which is just probably next to each other. Reach the entrance to the Tan Jetty. So behind me, that's the way in to the Tan Jetty. Comparatively, this is quieter. I feel like walking into a real kampong this time around. Tan Jetty somewhat sends a message to me that all clans jetty in Penang used to look like that before mass commercialization sets in. One memorable sight is when I crossed this makeshift door, supposedly trying to lock people out of the jetty when the surrounding is dark. Obviously, for safety reasons, as you can see that the bridge is not too well prepared and there are holes on the plank. Oh, this is the most Instagrammable jetty. This place is so beyond words for me. I am very touched upon seeing what's going on around me. Instantaneously, I forgot that behind me is the bustling Georgetown city. I am completely wrapped by the sense of serenity. Very out of this world. I thought if I'm alone, that feeling will even be more intense. So beautiful. I can't believe it. This place transported me to the time that I was at Batu Lanchang Jetty. Totally immersed in a very surreal feeling, surrounded by water 360 degrees back then. It's almost the same feeling that I have in Batu Lanchang. Well, back to the Tan Jetty. The wooden plank over here is probably the longest among the 7 jetties found here. This is beyond my expectation. Moving on to the next jetty is the Lee Jetty. Lee Jetty is shorter than the Lee Jetty. It is quite a clean water village with mainly residents and almost no shops. So the next jetty that I'm going to cover is the Lee Jetty. However, it is not that old. It is one of the newest jetty built in the 1960s, as the original Lee Jetty was relocated where the ferry terminal was built. Looking for a new place, they ended up here in this current location. This has a very consistent decoration. Looks like a Chinese New Year decoration theme. 一帆风顺，二人同心，万事皆成，岁岁平安。Yep, so I finished reading all the good greetings, yeah. Among the 7 jetty, it is probably one of the most lit and decorated jetty here. You can see Chinese arches and red lanterns placed along the length of the jetty. I can only imagine what it will look like at night when all the decorations lights are fully lit. Mixed jetty or the new jetty. This is the mixed jetty that I'm going to. You can say it is an accidental find. As I was walking to the old jetty, I find this another new jetty. So what's the surname? That's not it. So it's a mix. It's a mixed jetty. Sir, it means anything. Oh, since you're here, let's go and have a look. As the name of the new jetty suggests, it is the most recently built jetty, established around in the 1960s, earning the nickname of the new jet. It is also one of the smallest jetty with 22 houses only. There is no souvenir shops here and almost all the houses are residential. The next jetty that I'm going to, or the 5th one, is the Yo Jetty. The Yo Jetty is a little bit obscure. Yeah. I almost missed it. I went to the other one. So this is the signage, yeah, which is hanged by some dirty laundry. Okay, so let's go in.
It retains much of the original charm with few modern rebuilds. However, due to its northernmost location and the furthest away from the most commercialized Lee Jetty, most tourists will not make it to this place. Lee Jetty thus probably is one of the least visited jetty here. Time to leave this jetty. However, I still have 2 more jetty to go, so I have to make a dash now. From the southern parts of the Klang Jetty, I retrace the walk back up north, passing by the New Jetty, the Lee Jetty, the Tan Jetty, and the Chiu Jetty. Right, come out. This is the last jetty for the day, the Lim Jetty. So there's a big Lim sign here. Lim. My destination, the Lim Jetty, is less than 100 meters from the Chiu Jetty, which I first came from. I am now at the end of the Lim Jetty. Just like the Lee Jetty, it is a wonderful place to catch the rest of the Klang Jetty from up north. Other than that, I see that I am also very close to the ferry terminal, which is just next to the Lim Jetty. I now find myself at the old ferry terminal.
This jetty is not on my intended plan.
I can see the Lim Jetty and the jetties beyond. More importantly, I come to realize that in between the old ferry terminal and the Lim Jetty lies the Ong Jetty. I would say the Ong Jetty is the most elusive jetty that most people do not even know. In fact, I only come to know about it when I'm doing this video after months leaving Penang. This tiny strip of land called the Ong Jetty must be the most secretive jetty among all the Klang Jetty still standing in Penang.
That is how much amazing food I can devour in just 12 hours in Penang. Penang is undisputedly the food capital of Malaysia. What we are doing now is to deep dive into the flavors that make this island a food lover's paradise. From street food stalls to hidden gems, I am now on a mission to taste the best Penang has to offer. I'm going to walk 1 kilometer to the first place where I'm going to have my breakfast. After walking half an hour under the morning hot sun, I've reached One Corner Cafe. So according to my notes, I need to have chi chong fan, lor mee, and iced coffee. Right, this is the Hokkien Mee. Wow, people are packing by the bulk. 俾我一碗好，一碗。
我就貴啊！
多少啊？
一陣間10點半過後。
So this is the stuff that I come all the way for, the Super Hokkien Mee. This costs $7.50. And finally, the moment I have been waiting for, the Super Hokkien Mee. As we all know, the key to a great prawn mee lies in the broth. And wow, the broth is heavenly. So now I wanted to order this Lor Bak. The Super Hokkien Mee is really popular. I have to order some side dish in order to kill my 30 minutes of waiting time. First up, Lor Bak. The Lor Bak is freshly fried and crispy. Lor Bak pieces are smaller and more delicate than what I'm used to back home. The prawn crackers and the Ban Heang and the piah. And this is the sauces that goes with it. So it costs 780 ringgit. So first thing first, this is the iced coffee. Yeah, 220 ringgit. So it looks a little bit different from the iced coffee that we see back in Singapore, because there is a layer of frost here. Now, this iced coffee is a gem. If you are a fan of Nanyang style kopi, you will certainly love it. first see Toh Soon Cafe, it is really like the 1960s and 70s Singapore, with the choice of kopi, kaya toast and other bread choices. How can I resist the sight of an old school kopitiam? It's a feast on the eye just to be able to witness how coffee and kopi are prepared in the 1960s and 70s. The kopi served here is incredibly smooth, and the charcoal grilled bread, oh, there's something special about that first bite. There is one spot I just cannot miss. That is Mo Ting Pio Nong Ya Kueh and Canteen. Just look at that. You can tell by the moistness of the leaves and the kueh itself that is going to be real good. And I was very right. Every bite is superb. Whether it is the sweet one or the savory varieties, each one is bursting with flavor. It's like a little piece of heaven every time I sink my teeth into it. First stop today, Kheng Pin Cafe. Kheng Pin Cafe is one of the most famous Lor Bak place in Penang. Let's see what this place has to offer. Lor Bak is a popular Penang snack made of marinated meat, usually pork, wrapped in beancurd skin and deep fried to crispy perfection. The prawn crackers have this subtle prawn flavor. It is like they are letting you discover the taste on your own without telling you. And the tofu, it is supple and full, adding a nice contrast to the crispiness. Overall, it is a pretty good experience, and for 6 ringgit, it is definitely worth trying. Char siu or Chinese barbecue pork might not be what Penang is famous for, but when I heard that Wai Kee serves out some of the best char siu in town, I have to check it out. Wai Kee in Georgetown is said to rival the best. But today, I am determined to taste it. In fact, I am their first customer for the day. Let's see if that lives up to the hype. Just look at that beautiful char and glaze. That sight really lives up to the expectation. This is Ali Nasi Lemak. I'm going to do some packing of nasi lemak here and we find another place to eat. This Michelin certified halal store only sell nasi lemak. According to my friend, this is the famous nasi lemak. Malaysia national dish of coconut milk rice wrapped in banana leaf topped with sambal and one of the 6 toppings. Bilis telur. I picked anchovy with a hard-boiled egg. I packed a packet of the Michelin branded nasi lemak for just 2.5 ringgit. The price is so insane. Now that I'm in the comfort of the car, feels so nice.
Good job, this is a coastal highway.
Oh, there's a coastal highway. Later, my friend drives me around Penang trying to hunt down some local food that are not on my map. From the moment I step into his car, these are the public housing. So this is Penang Coastal Drive. Now, I have to trust a local when it comes to food recommendation. After all, this friend of mine is born and bred on Penang soil. I will certainly trust his recommendation more than what Google research tells me. My friend brought me to Batu Lanchang Market. Batu Lanchang Market food court certainly fall outside of my food research. Batu Lanchang is situated outside of Georgetown in the middle of God's nowhere. It can only be reached by car and it is a very local food place. I reckon no sane tourist would come all the way here. At that instance, it felt so good just to switch off my brain for a bit and enjoy being a local instead of being a tourist. We are now at one of Penang's best kept secret of local food. That is Batu Lanchang Market Food Court. This place is just a heaven for authentic, delicious and affordable eats. So we queue up for the piah. 2 for 4.6 ringgit. What's that? The kueh. Oh. my friend comes back with two dishes, Penang Popiah and Pesambu. This Popiah store here is always in queue. They are indeed famous among the locals and the Popiah are made upon order. This is very unique. Then they put the gravy on top of the Popiah. The Popiah is packed with the crunchy tulips and it's very nice and delicious. So let me just run through some of the food that we have got. And this is the, oh no, Popiah. Very unique Popiah. Okay, they have got gravy here. Very different from what we have in Singapore. And this is Pasapom.
Pasambu. P-A-S-E-M-B-U-R.
Okay, alright. What the hell is Pesambu? I have problem trying to pronounce Pesambu or getting it spelled correctly. The term Pesambu is peculiar to northern peninsular Malaysia. In other parts of Malaysia, the term Rojak Mamak is commonly used instead of Pesambu. When my friend mentioned Indian Rojak, now I know what I am expecting. So Pesambu is a must-try food here. Unless your destination is Penang Hill or the iconic Kek Lok Si temple, you might not find yourself in this part of Penang. The area we are exploring today is Itam, a name that literally translates to black water in Malay, inspired by the Milky River nearby. This part of Penang is hilly and densely populated. The roads here aren't the most convenient, especially if you are relying on public transport. Thanks to my amazing friend showing me around, I am getting so much more out of this trip.
You see the stalls in front?
The market? Yes.
That's the laksa actually. That's the laksa.
That's the laksa. Here?
Yeah. This one.
Which one?
This one.
This one?
Behind at the junction.
Oh yeah, okay. I lost touch. Okay, this is Kek Lok Si. But we are not going in. Thank you for showing me. This is a bonus track. But now I have explored Batu Lanchang and now Itam. And of course, there's always more food along the way. Okay, I'm heading towards this Apom Chooi. Penang is renowned for its rich culinary heritage. This is the laksa. But now we are venturing off the beaten path to discover a local gem that many tourists miss. My local friend is so eager to show me what Penang hidden food scene has to offer. We are now on a driving mission to hunt down one of Penang's beloved afternoon snack, Apom. My friend keep yaking, you just have to try Apom. It is a must-have snack when you are in Penang, says my friend. He took the trouble driving around Georgetown trying to hunt down Apom for me. It seems these days, Apom sellers are sold all over on this mobile lorry. Each pan churns out about 9 golden brown pancakes at a time, often topped with slices of banana and cream corn. Just like many other local food, these pancakes are best enjoyed warm, fresh from the pan. They sell their pancakes at 4 ringgit for 5 pieces of the original flavor, making them an affordable and delicious treat. So right across the Apom, you can find this Kim Hyung. Okay, I am totally at my friend's mercy when it comes to bringing me around. His car now stopped in front of a building with a signage called Him Hien Sendera Bahat with a security guard at the fortified iron gate outside. From the outside, it looks like it is a Chinese pawn shop in the olden days. Again, I do not know what I'm in for. It turns out that Him Hien Sendera Bahat is a household name in Penang, known for its traditional pastry that has been delighting locals and tourists alike since 1948. Wow, business is so brisk. And there's even a bodyguard outside. A trip to Penang is not complete without a taste of Chendul. Okay, so this is the last thing I'm going to try in Penang before I leave Penang. Chendul. So this is the most famous Chendul store. In fact, they call themselves Penang Famous Chendul. That's the name of the store, which is situated right behind me. So this is how they make the chendol. Very efficient, very quick. Here comes the chendol being served. The rich brown sugar syrup blend with coconut milk, green chili floating on the ice. Now, the moments of truth. Is the Penang Road chendol as good as everybody says? Yes, the Penang Road chendol is indeed very good. The brown sugar is so solid. It blends perfectly into the coconut milk, creating a rich, satisfying sweetness. However, if I were to nitpick, I would say the ice isn't as refined as it could be. And the green jelly, well, it is a little bit tasteless. I have earlier walked through the streets of Georgetown eating the representative local Penang food. Now, please allow me to show you the sightseeing parts of Penang, specifically Georgetown. This iconic landmark is located in the heart of Georgetown, affectionately known as Xing Si Jie for local Penang nights. It was the entertainment hub in Penang from the late 1930s to mid-1960s. Right now, it has been repurposed into a dining area. The massive overhead canopies and the rooftop terrace enhance the ambience, and in the background, live music and songs fill the air. So come in the late afternoon or early evening if you want to experience the full hustle and bustle of this place. Now, I am going to explore the chiming streets of Georgetown Old Town. This is where time stands still and every corner tells a story. First up, Georgetown famous shop house. I've seen this shop house the nights before, but with daylight, now I'm able to walk through the old town of Penang and see this in a very different light. These historical buildings are the backbone of the old town, showcasing a blend of Chinese, Malay, and European architectural style. Each one is unique, with colorful facade, intricate tiles, and unique wooden shutters. If you want to look at what old Singapore is, we have to come to places like Penang. Campbell Street Market has been a part of Georgetown heart and soul since 1900. Originally built during the British colonial rule, this market has stood the test of time. I was here at this market at night, last night. I have passed by this market for a couple of times, but it seems the market is closed every time I walk past. It's still closed again.
The next day.
The Campbell Market. Yeah, finally. The door is open. I've been here. I walked past this place for the past 3-4 times, but unable to gain access. So now that I see the door open, so let's go in. As such, I'm able to gain access. It's probably just a wet market, but it's of a particular psychological win for me to be able to get in. Just because I am late by early morning market standard. All I can do is to do a winding of the market and get out of it. So this is what a traditional market looks like in Penang. So all wet market looks almost like the same. I'm so glad to be able to gain access. Yeah, everybody is knocking off right now, and the door will be closed soon. Okay, that's it. Campbell Market kind of reminded me of the Singapore Maxwell Market or the Tiong Bahru Market back in those days. It certainly brings back some vestige of my childhood memories. I saw Ban Heang biscuits.
Ban Heang or Ban Heang is more than just a bakery. It is a symbol of Penang rich culinary heritage. Famous for its traditional Chinese pastry like piah, piah, and other local snacks, this family-run business has been serving up tasty treats for decades. From humble beginning, Ban Heang has grown into a beloved brand, blending time-honored recipe with a modern touch. Their signature piah are bite-sized pastries which are flaky on the outside and a delicious sweet bean filling on the inside. Each bite practically melts in your mouth. And of course, there's the piah, which are crispy pastries filled with a fragrant maltose syrup, making it a fan favorite.
Located off Armenia Street, you can see this street mirror. I think this is the quintessential street mirror of Penang. This represents Penang itself.
Georgetown is also famous for its vibrant street art, which breathes new life into its historical streets.
So when you are in Penang, you have to look at the wall mirror.
Georgetown vibrant street art is now iconic, but it wasn't always this way. Just 10 years ago, these streets looked very different. Today, the wall murals are part of the city's soul, drawing tourists and art lovers alike. What sparked this creative transformation? Let's take a walk back in time.
Oh, I accidentally chanced upon this, another very famous wall mirror. Yeah.
Back then, Georgetown was already known for its heritage buildings, but the walls are mostly bare, weathered by time. Penang was a place rich in history, but lacking a spark to reconnect its past to the modern world. That all changed around 2012 when Penang has the foresight to revitalize its old town with wall paintings. One artist's name stands out in this movement, Ernest Zacharevic. His wall murals, such as The Boy on the Bicycle and Boy on Chair, become instant sensation. His works brought Georgetown global recognition, and suddenly, this old town became a hotspot for street art lovers. These murals now give new purpose to the forgotten corners, turning alleyway into destinations. Ernest's success sparked a street art movement that continues to grow. Artists from all over the world now contribute to Georgetown's ever-evolving canvas. What started with a few murals has turned into a city-wide gallery, with each wall telling a unique story. While everyone knows about Ernest Zacharevic's famous work, I believe there's so much more works from others to discover. Given Ernest's Boy on the Cycle mirror is easily the most iconic site in Penang, and I have to make sure to seek it out first. This piece of art has become a symbol of Georgetown's vibrant art scene. It is a must-see if you are in Penang and truly a masterpiece that captured the spirit of this beautiful city. As for the rest of the murals, well, I like to leave it to chance. Instead of meticulously follow a map, I prefer a more leisure approach, just wandering the streets and let the murals surprise me as I go. There is something special about stumbling upon this artwork in the most unexpected places. Whether it is a mural hidden in a narrow alley or painted on the side of an old building, these surprises makes exploring Georgetown so much fun.
Just next to the old Central Fire Station, you can find this short and small alley. pretty interesting. For me, it is not about hunting down every mural and checking it off a list. I would rather take it easy, soak in the surrounding and appreciate the murals when they naturally appear. These murals add so much character to Georgetown, and each one tells its own story. The beauty lies in discovering them organically without the pressure of punching the card. So, if you are visiting Penang, my advice is simple. Don't just stick to the map. Let the murals find you and enjoy the art as it was meant to be, unexpected and full of wonder. My next stop is Armenia Street. It is one of the liveliest areas in Georgetown. This is indeed a very touristy part of Penang. This street is a treasure cove for history, art, and food. As you stroll down the lane, you will encounter artisan shops, quaint cafe, and historical landmarks such as Chia Kong Si, a 19th century Chinese clan house. Walking down Armenia Street is like stepping back in time. The heritage buildings here with the unique character and colorful facade showcase Penang history as a melting pot of cultures. Many of these buildings are over a century old. Some even house traditional business passed down through generations. This part of Georgetown is truly a living museum, with every street, building, and murals telling a unique story. Armenia Street is home to not just stunning street art, but also several Peranakan museums, like the well-known Koo Kong Si. If you have not visited a Peranakan museum before, I highly recommend setting aside around 2 hours to immerse yourself in their rich culture and history. As for me, I have already visited these museums on my previous trips, so this time around I am giving it a miss. Plus, I do not have much time allocated for this trip in Penang. Instead, I spent my time wandering around Armenia Street, sniffing out some lesser known free spots. During my random walk, I stumbled across this beautiful courtyard. I am not exactly sure of its name, but what caught my sight was the old Chinese opera house and a small temple tucked inside. It is this hidden gem like this that make Georgetown so special. Every corner has a story, even if it's not on the typical tourist map. So whether you are exploring the iconic murals or stumbling upon secret courtyard, Georgetown is a city full of surprises. Penang is just full of hidden gems. While strolling along Penang Chulia Street, heading towards Little India, I stumbled upon a hidden gem. A beautiful, worn, old clan house building. A Guangdong architecture. 嗨，可以进来看看一下吗？可以啊，好，这样转一圈。好，谢谢你啊 ，Thank you, thank you. Unlike the more elaborate Peranakan mansion you will find in Penang, this clan house might not be as intricate in design. But what I love about it is that it is still very much a living quarter. The building feels alive, cared for by those who maintain its upkeep every day. I was lucky enough to strike up a conversation with a few of the people living here. Their stories, their connection to this place, it really brought this building back to life in a way that murals and painting never could. 哦 ，OK， 你係邊個咧？會長，會長好。你係咪嚟踢館㗎？踢館啊！我都冇武功。冇武功啊！啊，我都冇武功。你哋有武功？嚇？我明川哥。 哦，永清啊，我太氣。Okay, bye bye. Bye. Cute guys. Okay, I'm out. Oh no, it's raining. Am I stuck here? And just when the afternoon drizzle hits, this humble space offers me more than just history. It provides me a shelter, a roof over my head. But at least I still have a shelter over my head. So I just have to wait for the shower to pass. Hopefully it will be soon. I am now going to one of the oldest and most legendary temples in Penang. So this is the famous Kwan Yin temple in Georgetown. Let's go in and have a look. The Goddess of Mercy Temple, also known as Kwan Yin Tang. This historical site has stood the test of time, dating back to the early 1800s. When it was built by the Hokkien and Cantonese communities who lived nearby. Stepping into the temple, I was greeted with the serene atmosphere of devotion. This temple, dedicated to Kwan Yin, the Goddess of Mercy, is a place where locals come to offer their prayers for protection, guidance, and blessings. I took a moment to offer my own prayer for a safe journey as I continue my travel. With some days left before I reach home, I wanted to ensure blessing for a smooth and safe trip. Bye, Penang. It is almost time to meet my friend. Checking out now. I will quickly make a dash back to my hostel to check out. After spending 2 nights here, it's time for me to say goodbye to the place I call home. See you, man. See ya. Bye. Alright, checking out now. Checking out. Thank you. My friend is waiting for me near the iconic Komtar building. I like this door. I'm going to meet a Penang guy, a Penang local who is working in Singapore. We have been friends for quite some time. So, yeah. Once I hop into his car, I am able to see Penang from a whole new perspective. Instead of walking with a car, I can cover so much more grounds. This completes my experience of Penang Georgetown. I'm so grateful to my friend for showing me the best of what Penang has to offer. From the amazing food to the hidden gems. Our last stop is Kek Chuan Road. It is a place I have no idea about. But my friend insisted on showing me. He drops me off and tells me to capture the beauty of this street. Kek Chuan Street has been named one of the 40 most beautiful streets in the world. It ranked number 17. The unique blend of Eastern and Western architectural details is stunning. It is no wonder this street made it into the global article on housebeautiful.com, showcasing its pastel colors and rich heritage. It's beautiful, but I don't think, it's the best. Wow, look at the door here. So neat. I rather this door. This is of much more aesthetic value. Anyway, my friend has prepared me psychologically that don't have too much of an expectation when you see that most beautiful street. My last stop here in Penang brings me to the Penang Ferry Terminal. Thanks, huh?
Okay, no problem.
Alright. Thank you, friend.
Okay, bye.
We see each other back in Singapore.
Okay. Enjoy your trip.
Thank you. See you. Yep. Enjoy your holidays. You know more than I. Okay, thank you.
It is an interesting time to be here because I've arrived just as the old ferry terminal was officially replaced by a completely new one. This new terminal is now responsible for ferrying passengers across the Penang Channel from the island to the mainland Malaysia. It looks like this is a jetty, although I'm not too sure. Since this terminal was only inaugurated 2 days ago, even my local friend isn't sure where the boarding point is exactly. He dropped me off nearby and I bid him farewell before setting off to try my luck in finding the right place. After navigating through a few rounds of barricades and some guesswork, I finally made it to the departure gate of the terminal. It is a unique experience to leave Penang this way. I flew into Penang just 2 days ago, and now I'm departing Penang by ferry, with the next parts of my journey continuing by bus. I'm walking towards the ferry.
So next to the ferry terminal. That's the old one. That's the old ferry. Before they decommissioned it many years ago.
As the ferry pulls away, the view of Georgetown slowly shrinks into a distance. It is a bittersweet farewell, but I'm excited for what's next. Thanks for joining me on this journey through Penang. I can't wait to share my onward adventure with you. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more travel updates, and I will see you in the next one.